Again.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Revenue and Financial Services. Will the Minister update the House on the importance of creating a tax setting which helps grow the economy and reduces the tax burden on hard-working Australians? Is the Minister aware of any alternative approaches which pose a threat to Australian small businesses and families alike, including in my electorate of Corangamite?
The Minister for Revenue and Financial Services.
I thank the member for Corangamite for her question, and I applaud her for her tireless advocacy on behalf of her constituents, in particular the more than 17,000 small businesses that have benefited from our government's small business and medium-sized enterprise tax cuts. The government has in fact put in place and worked very hard to put in place the right settings to drive economic growth and boost jobs. We've cut taxes for small and medium-sized enterprises, and we have seen the creation of 1,100 jobs every day to ensure that more and more Australians have the opportunity to work, to invest and to grow our economy. But we know that Australia does need to remain competitive, and we have to do that with our tax system if we are to drive jobs and growth, to remain competitive in a globalised marketplace. And so our government will continue to fight for our enterprise tax plan that will deliver the jobs, the increased wages and the economic expansion that we require. Now, the Leader of the Opposition claims that he supports small business tax cuts, but he would in fact raise taxes for small businesses with a turnover of between $2 and $50 million. Now, you see, the Leader of the Opposition has a problem. He has a problem with this thing called authenticity. He claims to be a big supporter of women, yet this morning we see reports by Jenny George, the first female president of the ACTU, who has chastised him for being part of a boys' club that is, of course, still his factional power base. In his interview with GQ, when he was asked about Julia Gillard, he said, "I've always been a supporter of hers. I wonder if he told her that before he stabbed her in the back." Now, we have seen revelations documented in The Australian this week in which the Leader of the Opposition promised the millionaire Jeff Cousins at least half a dozen times that he'd kill off the Adani coal mine before he promptly suggested to the good people of Queensland last week that there is a role for mining in Australia, there is a role for coal in Australia. Now, Mr Speaker, he is apparently an eco-warrior in inner-city Melbourne, but he is the miner's mate when he is in North Queensland. He's frozen out women as a union leader, but now he wants to play Mr Feminist on the pages of GQ magazine. He was all for reducing company tax cuts when sitting in the boardrooms around the country, but he is against company tax cuts when he turns into a get-up groupie. You see, this Leader of the Opposition is completely two-faced and can't be trusted.
The Minister's time has concluded.